Hello everyone. Should I say welcome to Ask the Nanny's Recipes Galore. Today we are going to be making some cilantro lime chicken, but not just the chicken. We're going to be making some, a few things. It's a dish to me. So I'm going to get started and tell you what you need. You're going to need some chicken. I have about 2 chicken breasts here cut up into little bite-sized pieces. And you're going to need some cilantro because we're making cilantro lime chicken. You're going to need some cilantro. And we're going to need some lime. I'm going to use 2 limes because I used the juice. And I'm going to use the outside to zest it. So be sure that you wash down your limes before you zest them. I also have in this pot right here, I have some quinoa. It's a tricolor quinoa. I don't know if you can see that at light. The light is awful bright. There we go. The tricolor quinoa. Yeah. And you're gonna need some red onions. This is about 1/4 cup of chopped red onions. And some tomatoes. This is for garnish. And some guacamole for garnish. And some, let me not drop it. And some sour cream goes on top. Now, and your favorite cheese. This is a triple cheddar creamy melt cheese. It has the Philadelphia cream cheese in it, so I like using this kind. So what we're gonna do is get started. I'm gonna add some avocado and olive oil. I'm gonna pour that on my chicken so I won't have to add anything to the skillet. I just pour about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more. Time to restock lemon pepper. Note to self. Okay. Now this is basically a season to taste recipe. I like it just a little bit spicy, but I like that lemony taste that lemon pepper gives it. Now this is a Slap Your Mama. This is the low sodium Slap Your Mama. It is different from the regular Slap Your Mama that I have, which is this one. It has 2 different flavors to it. This one is made with salt, red pepper, black pepper, and garlic, but it is so yummy. This one, on the other hand, is made with red pepper, salt, black pepper, granulated sugar, granulated garlic, granulated onion, ground celery, granulated green bell pepper, and no MSGs in either one of these. So I'm going to use a little bit of this on here just to give it a little bit of kick. And now I'm going to grab my big spoon and I'm going to stir it up in my bowl so that all my seasonings can get all over the chicken. That's why I put the oil on there, because it helps the seasonings to stick to it and coat. So I don't want to put too much seasoning on there because I want my lime and my cilantro to be the star of this show. So now I have my chicken all coated with my lemon pepper and my low sodium Slap Your Mama. If you all don't know about Slap Your Mama, y'all better find somebody and find out, because that is some good stuff, y'all. So I'm going to turn on my fire. Okay, there we go. We got it on about medium heat because I don't want it to cook too fast because it'll cook all the juices out of it. And I do not like dry chicken. So I'm going to just pour this in here. It already has oils on it, so I don't even have to worry about adding any extra oil. I'm going to spread it out so my chicken won't stick together. and clump up. So I'm just trying to just spread it out a little bit. Now, as that is starting to cook, I'm going to take some of my cilantro. Now, as I said, this is a season to taste. If you don't like a lot of cilantro, put a little bit in there. I like a lot of cilantro, so I put cilantro in my chicken, in my quinoa, and sprinkle a little on top when I get done. So I'm gonna put some cilantro in here with my chicken. And I'm gonna take my microplane and I'm going to zest my limes. Now we are gonna use the lime juice in the limes. Once it's cooked, I like to squeeze a little lime juice over the top, give it a little extra pop. But for right now, we're just gonna take the lime. You don't want to dig too deep into your lime to get to that white part. You just want the outer crust of your lime in there, because that white part is really bitter. We just want the outer zest of the lime, the outer skin of the lime. So I'm gonna zest this off into my chicken as it cooks. And sometimes when you're zesting, it helps to keep turning it back and forth, because if you don't keep turning it back and forth, the oil from the lime, it can cause your microplane to get slippery. So I like to turn it back and forth so I can get a little bit more traction on my microplane. My quinoa is almost done, so I'm going to add a little cilantro and a little lime juice to it to give it the right flavors. Grab my spoon and stir that up in there. Make sure my chicken does not stick together. Show you what I have in my skillet so far. That's what I have in my skillet so far. Can you see that? Oops, let's not drop it. So, we're just gonna let our chicken cook. Spread it out so it will be won't be stuck all together, and let it cook. Like that. While we're doing that, we're going to grab a knife and cut this lime open and add some lime juice to our quinoa and a little cilantro. Now, to catch the seeds, I always use a strainer. It's just easier than trying to pick through the seeds. So I'm just going to put this lime right here. There we go. Put that over here. And I'm going to grab some of my cilantro and put some cilantro in there. A little bit more. And I'm going to stir it up. So that we get all those good flavors in there. And my cilantro is done. I mean, not my cilantro, my quinoa is done. So I'm going to unplug this so it will not overcook. In the meantime, in between time, we're going to stir this chicken again so it can get nice and cooked all the way through. You don't want to overcook your chicken Because again, like I said, it'll be dry, but you do want to make sure it is done, because you don't want to eat raw chicken. So that's why I cook it on a medium high, so it cooks. It doesn't cook too fast and cook all the juice out of it. And I'll show you what I have. Almost done. Now once I get done with this and I start stacking it on top of one another, it'll probably make more sense to you. But you can use this as a snack. It can be a meal, lunch, brunch. I've had this many different ways. I found this recipe at the grocery store. They were doing a demonstration about cilantro lime chicken. And y'all know me. I take a recipe, I take the parts that I like, and then I change it to add some other things that they don't have in there that I like, that I think that will go good with those flavors. And that's how I come up with my recipe. Our chicken is almost done. Let me grab my quinoa. I'm getting ready to build my bowl. It's kind of like one of those salad bowl, or I like to call it a little Tex-Mex. This is a cilantro lime bowl. I like to put a little quinoa down at the bottom. Got my little cilantro lime in there. Now that my chicken is done, throw some chicken off in here. Now if you like a lot of chicken, put a lot in your bowl. If you don't like a lot of chicken, not so much. Okay. Let me turn this off. So this is what I have so far in my bowl. My quinoa and my meat is in there. Now, I'm gonna add, let me put this over here. I'm gonna add some guacamole in the middle of my bowl. And then I'm going to add some red onions. I like onions. You don't have to do onions if you don't want to. I'm going to add some sour cream. On top of that. A little tomatoes. I want to add my favorite cheese, my 3 cheese, cheddar 3 cheese. And I'm going to put a little cilantro on top. Just for a little garnish on top. And let me grab my strainer again. And I'm going to squeeze just a little bit of lime juice over the top. Give it a little bit of kick. There we go. Now let me rinse this off my hand and I'll show you what I have in my bowl. And there you have it. So this is my bowl. Now, I layered quinoa and then my chicken and then my guacamole and some red onions, some sour cream, some diced Roma tomatoes. I like using Roma tomatoes because they have less juice in them. and they're a lot firmer than the garden tomatoes. And I put some of my favorite cheese, my creamy triple cheddar melt. It has Philadelphia cream cheese in there, and some cilantro for a little garnish. And that is my bowl. I'm all done. And now you can serve this with your favorite tortilla chips, or you don't have to have tortilla chips because quinoa is in there. You can eat it just like it is, but I like it with tortilla. You can find this recipe and other delicious recipes on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/AskTheNanny. Join me again next week, same time, same place, for another Ask the Nanny's Recipes Galore. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all next week.